Welcome back to the Niagara Learning Channel. So this is a new station that's been set up on site, and it's again talking BACnet to these three IQ3, I presume, controllers. Oh no, they're IQ4Es. So we're talking BACnet to IQ4 controllers. And I've just gone into this. This is what was set up by the site engineer, and I'm now going to go through all these points to make before I send them to the cloud, to add histories to them, alarms to them, and make sure that there's no special characters. So as you can see, we've got we've got spaces at the moment here. So I'm going to take them spaces out first. So all I do there is put a space and put an underscore underneath that and go OK. So that takes out any spaces, and there's no spaces at the ends. So I discovered the BACnet just to see if there was anything else, but there isn't. There's just these three controllers. So I'm happy about that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the points, check each point that the engineer's done to make sure that they are writable for the knobs, the switches. The sensors and the inputs are just going to be read-only. But let's see what we've got in sensors here. So we haven't got that many sensors on this station. We've got some special characters, as you can see, the hyphen there. So first of all, highlight them all, rename, and if I just put a space there, put that underscore in, go OK, and then rename again, and this time I'm going to put the minus there, and I'll still have the underscore. So I can't see any more special characters now on that one. So drivers now. So all the drivers are here, not that many again on this first floor plant room. Again, take out the spaces. We don't like spaces. It gives the dollar a dollar, the percent 20 sign, and I'm going to take out the minus sign as well, the hyphen in between there, and I'm just looking for any spaces at the end, which there isn't, because otherwise it would put an underscore there, and I'm looking for other special characters, and I can't see any there. Now it looks like that damper's got two spaces there, so I'm going to change that to just one space. There's no point in having two spaces, and I'm happy with that. So let's have a look at these knobs now. So they are all writable, so he's brought all them in writable, so I'm happy with that. And I'm going to again take out the spaces because I'm not happy with having spaces, and I'm not happy with having hyphens. Look for any more special characters, and I can't see any there, so I'm happy with them that he's done. Switches, they are writable, so I'm happy with them being writable. There's only two. Rename, take out the spaces, rename, take out the hyphens, and no special characters there. Inputs, they will only be read only, which they are naturally. Highlight them, rename, take out any spaces, rename, take out any hyphens. Check for the space. Oh, there's quite a few spaces there between them. We can get rid of them. So there's three spaces there. So I'll leave it still highlighted. Rename, not spaces, underscores. 1, 2, 3, and I only want to put 1. That's got rid of them. I'm happy with that. So I've got to put alarms on all these, histories on all these, but I'm not going to bother at the moment. I'm just going to do them all first. So pool AHU, let's have a look at that one. Points, sensors, read only. Yes, they certainly are. I've got a Dix module there, which we don't really need to bring in, but hey ho, let's just change them anyway. Rename, hyphen, no special characters there. This looks like it's plain sailing, this one, compared to last time. They are all good. Rename, space, rename, minus. Happy with that. Hopefully they're all writable. They certainly are. My moaning must have worked. Space, underscore, rename, hyphen. Mind you, I did tell him about this as well, about putting space underscores for spaces and getting rid of any special characters, but it's quite an easy fix, so it's not a problem there. Okay, I'm happy with them. Switches, they are all writable. Nice. Rename, space, rename, minus sign. Good, happy with them. Inputs, they will be all readable, read only. Yep, I'm happy with that. Rename, space, rename, minus sign, hyphen. Oh, I don't like that there. I don't like that. So rename, put in that sign, and do we put a, yeah, I'm quite happy to put an underscore there. Happy with that. Next one, main plant room. Probably a few points here. Just a few. Just a few. All read only. Yeah. Highlight them all. Rename, space, rename, hyphen. Look for any special characters like percents, exclamation marks, or we've got a one there that I will take out. That and that other space at the end. No, all okay, I think. I don't think I've missed anything. There. Drivers. Right. Let's go and do these. Rename, space, rename, hyphen. Just checking for special characters. I'm happy with that. The knobs, the adjustments. Let's just first of all check that they're all writable. Oh, there's a lot of them. hell of a lot of them. Okay. It's going to take quite a bit of work on the graphics, doing all them. Rename, space, rename, hyphen. Look for any special characters. And I can't see any. Looking for like percentage signs or exclamation marks or things like that, but there isn't any there. Switches. Hopefully these are all writable, and they are. Rename, space, rename, hyphen. Inputs. I'm just checking that there's anything there. Now I'm happy with that. There's no two spaces. Okay. Inputs. I bet there's going to be a lot of inputs. I think there's more knobs than there are inputs there. Adjustments. But anyway. Rename. Space. Yep. Rename. Hyphen. Look for any special characters. They look not too bad to me. Right, so now we're going to put some histories. Now, I normally just put histories on every single point. It's not needed, but seeing all it's doing is taking the information from the trend and then taking it back out via Niagara network to the cloud. There's no harm in putting histories on these. So let's go to our history palette and let's go to our extensions and we'll do a numeric change of value. We'll drop it into there. Now I'm going to set this as a 1 for the change tolerance, so we don't get so many histories. There's only a 1 degree. And then I'm going to set this to 5,000. There's plenty of space on that station for this, so I'm not worried about that. And now I'm going to paste these in every single numeric point that I have got out of these 3 stations. And while I do that, I'm going to put you on pause because it's going to take a while. So that's done for all the sensors and drivers numeric. I haven't done the knobs, the adjustments or anything else. So I've done all them. So we start at the top again, and now I'm going to do these booleans. So we go for a boolean change of value. We drop it into there, and again we will change the history to 5,000. Save that. Once I've saved it, I can copy it. Copy. And then I can paste it in all these. What I'm doing is paste and pressing the enter key on my keyboard here. Just make it a little bit faster. So that's them done. And then do I do the switches? Do I do the switches so I know that they've changed the switch? You could say, really, if that was the case, and I really want to be doing the adjustments as well, the knobs, but I haven't done them. Now, some of these will also, like fire alarm activated, will already give an alarm out once I attach an alarm to it, but I'm still adding histories to them anyway. Why? Because I can. Will we ever use them? Probably not. But if someone rings me up in a year's time or 2 years' time and says something about the plant performance, and could I tell him what it was doing on a certain time of day, I can actually answer that question. But I won't be able to answer about set point adjustments because, as you know, I haven't done them. But I'm going to do them switches here. And I won't be making them that you can click on them on the graphic and see the history. So they're just going to be just collecting data in the background, and that's it. Which, if you've got the space, and bear in mind this is going to go to a cloud server and it's going to be unlimited history, then why not? Now, because they look at this on the cloud server, I'm going to be doing the collection of the histories probably every 1 hour. Normally it's 24 hours is sufficient, but because they're looking at this, I think every 1 hour they will get the data from the temperature sensors back. So I've got to do these, and then I've got to do the alarm for the sensors, the temperature sensors, if they're out of range, or the humidity sensors, because we want an alarm for that, so we know if the sensor's faulty. So we'll do that in a minute. I haven't done them knobs there. And I said I would do the switches, and I've got a lot of input, so let me put you on pause again. Right, that's them done. So now we're going to stick some alarms in now. So I'll start back up at the top again. Sensors. So this time we change our palette to the alarm palette. If you don't know how to find it, all you need to do is click on this folder here and then start typing in alarm, and it will bring in the palette there. Right, and extensions, out of range, the good old out of range. Now if it's parts per million or anything like that, i.e. CO2, they can go up to 2,000, some of them. So we're doing this temperature sensors as such, or humidity. So I'm going to just set here a low limit and a high limit. I'm going to put 120 degrees on a temp, or 120 on a sensor, and minus 50 with a dead band of 1, and faulty sensor for the high limit, faulty sensor for the low limit, the off normal text healthy for that, faulty sensor for that. Minus 120 to minus 15. So when the sensor goes faulty, it could either be minus 365 or whatever it is, or it could actually be a lot higher than 120. So let's save that. So that's our out of range done. Copy. Extract temperature. Yeah, that can have an out of reception. Well, that's going to be around about 20, 21 degrees. CO2 level. Now that is currently reading 0.478 parts per million, which is good. But what I'll do with that is I'll paste that in there, but then I'm going to go in. See, it's put it straight into alarm at the moment. I'm going to go in and put that range at round about 3000 and put that down to just 0 will do. Save. So that's back to normal again now. Supply set point. So it's a sensor. So why has it got supply set point when it's a sensor? Okay, so they are just virtual sensors. So I'm not going to put anything in there alarm wise because it's pointless. Or do I? Do I put, there's no arm, is it? I'll put it in. Loop, well that's going to be loop 0 to 100. So we can do that. And that's going to be loop 0 to 100, so we can paste that one in there. And that's going to be a loop 0 to 100, so we can paste that in there. Supply fan speed, well that's not going to go over 100. Paste, 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 and paste. Not that you really need to do that for the drivers. It's not really a sensor issue, is it, if a driver goes faulty? So really that's going to be the wrong text for them. Really? Faulty sensor? I presume we could just use faulty instead of that. Keep the exclamation mark in there. Right, let me just change them. Let me put you on pause. Right, I changed them, but I'm going to just delete them out. I don't think we need them in there. I think that's a bad idea, putting them. I've never done it before. So let's just take them out of there. I don't think it's necessary to have an alarm in for them. Delete them. And I'll also delete them out of here as well. There's no point. Because they're just virtual at the end of the day, these. They're not the proper sensors. We only really want them on temperature, really. Saying that, we have put them on there. Let me just, I don't need that one. Let me just copy that one again. I'm sure I've still got it in its memory, but copy it. Even though, right, we don't need them anymore. And these haven't got any sensors, any alarms on them. I'm not putting alarms on the knobs. I will be putting Boolean alarms in, but I'm on numeric at the moment, so that's humidity, which is fine. Humidity 0 to 100. Outside air, I don't think outside air would get to -50 yet. Pressure, yeah, that's fine. MPA, fine. We don't want the dicks to do that. Hours run, well, forget that, and forget that one. Forget them drivers there, forget them knobs there. Outside air. Yeah, we can have outside air. Definitely boiler flow and returns. And domestic hot water flow and returns. We can have them in there. Yeah, we can have it there. That's never going to get to 150. Paste. Main pool gets to that, we've got a bit of a problem. paste. That's spare wire to terminals. Sports all temp. Yes, we'll have a bit of that. CO2 level. Well, I do want to put one in there, but naturally we've got to adjust the range on that one now. And we'll put that range to 3000. Back to normal again. Paste. Paste. And that's it. These are just for information. Virtual switches. Don't want them drivers. Don't want them knobs. Don't want them switches. And don't want them. Okay. So now we've done those alarms. We've now got to do the Boolean alarms. I say this is where it gets interesting, but not really. Don't want them anymore. Don't want them anymore. We definitely want them. So I normally click on that so I see them all here, and at the moment they all look good. And then I get my alarm extension for my Boolean change of state and drop that into there. And then we edit that. And so I'm not going to put fire there. I'm actually going to just put alarm fault. I'll just put an alarm for that. Hope if I spell it right. Healthy fault. So the alarm value is true. Well, it's false at the moment. So let's go copy. Damper open, not interested in that. Filter dirty, yes. Frost stat trip, I do want to know. I want an alarm when the frost stat is tripped. Don't need that. Damper open, filter dirty, yes. We need an alarm when filter is dirty. Not flows, fault, yes we do. Now really that wants to say fault now in that alarm. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to change that to fault. And the other ones I could have, with the filter dirties, I could have done dirty, but an alarm is still okay. So I've copied, so now my text is going to be a fault. Do I want an alarm when the switch is in hand or off for the AHU? Probably would be nice to have that. Fail. So dump fail. Let's just do that one first. So we'll have that one fail. And we're actually going to change that text now to fail. Fail. Save that. And we copy that. And we want it in that one. We want it in all these. Right, so that's them done. I think what I'm going to do is give it an alarm if it's in hand. And in hand. Save. And I'm going to give it an alarm if it's switched off. In, off, save. So go back to, so that one was showing alarm, so we'll keep that as it is, copy. Now we don't need sensors there, we don't need drivers, we don't need the knobs, we don't need the switches. Frostat, trip, paste, that can just be an alarm. Filters dirty. Okay, we need to sort that out. Paste. Paste. Flow fail. Let's just take that. Copy that one. And put that in there. Paste. Paste. Supply air, high temp. That could just be a normal alarm. Copy that. Paste that into there. Fire alarm, true. See, it's in alarm there, so we need to reverse that one. So that's now gone out of an alarm. And then we got the off and the hand, didn't we? I presume I could paste it, but I might as well just take that off there, copy it, and paste it in the off there. And then the hand, copy it, and paste it in the hand there. So that should say off, which it does, and that should say hand, which it does. Take a standard alarm, copy that. We don't need them sensors anymore, we don't need them drivers, we don't need them knobs, we don't need them switches, inputs. Fire alarm activated. So that is all false for them, so let's just go paste. That's an alarm. Gas valve closed. So it'd be an alarm when it's open. When it's true, sorry. Pressure. Boiler lockout. Domestic hot water, we want to know about that. Not DPs, not dampers. Filter dirty, yes, we want to know about that. Yeah, frost, we need to know about that. Not bothered about the damper flow, filter dirty, yes, we want to know about that. Exchanger fault, yes please. AHU fault, yes. Yes. Tripped, yes. I mean, the text is telling them what it is anyway. Oh. Duty, LTHW duty pump fail is true. Looks like they've got some issues there. Boiler high temperature, yes. Damper fail, yes. Fan fail, yes. Damper fail, yes. Fan fail, yes. Paste for sports hall high CO2, yes. So looking at this, I know the temperature outside will be really, really warm anyway, so I presume what's happened there is they've turned the pumps off on the isolator, and the BMS is basically not seeing the DP, asking it to run, and that's the reason why they're failing, I believe. In fact, what temperature is it outside here? We got an outside air temperature. 22.61. Okay, so I reckon that they have just turned off the pumps on the wall isolator. BMS is trying to do its stuff, and that's the reason why the duty pumps have failed, and it wants a reset sending. Do we have a reset? LTHW pumps reset. We've got one there. Should we send a reset? Let's send a reset. Let's do it active for 10 seconds. Custom. 10 seconds. See what happens. Well, that's cleared the faults. Apart from that, that's nothing to do with the pump. But now they've come back on again. Alright. Yeah, they've got them turned off on the isolator, I reckon. Right, so all we're doing anyway is graphics, but we are putting alarms and histories on there. The next thing for me to do, so I've done all the alarms, I've done all the histories. So the next thing for me to do on this station is to go into my alarm service, and nothing's being done up here, so let's just put some slots up here. Total alarm, yeah, we'll have all them, thank you very much, have a nice day. And then I want to go to my recipients, my console. Let's see what the alarms are that we're bringing back. So route an alarm to that, so let's see what they are when we go in there. But I also want to send them to the server. Station recipient. So I want to send these alarms back to the server, and I've got to set up the alarms on the server for that. And yes, we're sending to BRP Energy. So at the moment I've just go to default class, but we will put them eventually in their own alarm folder for this site. And let's just clear them, acknowledge them, and we have some issues here. Return air humidity, faulty sensor, interesting. So let's have a look at that one. We need to look at S1 return air humidity there. Pool AHU. Okay, let's have a quick look at that. Pool AHU. Where are you, Pool AHU? You're there. And let's have a look at your sensors. Yes, well, the humidity can't be 129.56. Can't be. You can't have a humidity over 100%. So, yeah, it's right to be in fault. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that one. That should be, if it's a pool, 52, 55, 60 maximum percent RH. So, yeah, I'm not. I'm going to go with that one, and I'm going to keep that in alarm until I'm not going to remove an alarm off it. So we've done that. Send it to the station. What we've got to do now is the history services. This is the one that gets me. So I've got 179 histories, and depending on the text length, I'm hoping they're all going to say okay. So scroll down to the bottom, highlight the bottom one, press that little play button on there, and let's see what faults we get. We shouldn't get any duplicates because each name's got I-25 or I-25, I-26, I-27. So if any faults, it's going to be because they're too long. Well, that looks good at the moment. Let's see what we've got. We're all okay there. Oh, that was nice. That was nice. Don't have any issues with length. So that's all the histories done. So I am about done on this station. Now I've got to set it all up on the cloud. But I have got everything attached to what I want to attach to, so I am happy. Right, I am going to put you on pause while I start doing the cloud. I tell you what I've missed off here on this controller, which I forgot about, is schedulers. I need to know what schedulers we've got. So these are all being brought in. It's just so I know what schedulers we're working with that I need to put on the cloud system. I really need to know what the schedulers are. Discover. So let's just take them out a minute. Delete them. And go to export and bring them in under export. Doesn't like that. Go back to import. Discover. Bring them in. The problem is I can't see. Oh, now I can. What the schedulers are. So that's it. There's actually nothing in the schedulers. Pool. Don't want that. I want schedulers. Oh, we've got some up there. And we've got some up there. Was there any more schedulers, or was that all the schedulers? Yeah, just them two. And now what about this one? Changing village. Yeah, we've got. Well, that's okay. So what the problem is this. Why haven't I got no schedulers written in any of these? I don't know what the logic's in there, but these are definitely a main pool occupancy, which I thought would have been at least on. We'll be having something coming through on the scheduler. Let's just actions, fire trigger. So what I'll be doing is I'll be setting these as 24/7, 7 days a week, and let them change it, because I don't believe that the DHW system hasn't got a scheduler. But it hasn't. So I will be giving it a scheduler on them. So I've got to put all these schedulers up on the cloud. Right, let me get back to the cloud. Let me put you on pause. So I'm on the cloud server now, and this is a site Farnham. So So I've got nothing at the moment being brought in. So I can bring in the histories. So let's just do that now. So we're discovering. So we're actually from the cloud server, this is going into the Niagara Tridium controller on site, which is connected to the Trend IQ4s. And these are all the histories that we've just set up. And I'm now going to bring them all in. And I am going to set the 2 a.m. on all of them to be interval every 1 hour. Take out that minute. Unlimited. So I then normally go all the way down to the bottom, click on that, and I archive. So it's going to start archiving and bringing them all in. I don't need to sit and watch this. I can carry on with something else. Schedulers. Discover. These are all the schedulers. I'm only bringing them in so I've got them here on the server so I know what to call them rather than having to keep going to the station. I'm not doing anything with these. It's just the names that I want, so I can basically... Now, when I want to see what's on the schedulers that are working, I'll go into the station and look at what's working on that. So I'm just bringing them in for the names, and only the names, nothing else. See that hyphen there? See what it does with the description? See this $2D? So that's zone 2 reception, but $2D is the hyphen sign here. That's why I don't like to keep the hyphens in. But I'm not bothered. I would delete these once I've finished. I just want to see what the time clocks are, the schedulers are. Now to the point. So we've got the histories. Oh, alarms. I need to tell it where to send that alarm to. And it's Farnham. I've already set up an alarm group there on the server for that, an alarm source. I want to send that to Farnham. Save. So now the alarms will go to its own special folder. Now to the points. That's the only thing I've got to do now. Discover points. So I'm just going to just select discover because I want the names of the... So 1F plant room was the first one. So I'm just going to do a new folder. 1F underscore plant room was one folder. The second folder was pool AHU. New folder. Pool underscore AHU. And the final station was main plant room. Just keeping it the same. So the same strategy. Let me just put you on pause. Sorry about this. Right, where was we? Main plant room. Putting that in there. Right. So what I'm going to do is we've got a folder points and then we've got folder sensors. So let's go into that. New folder. Points. And then into that, let's just discover. So points is actually not a capital P for points. Rename, put a lowercase p. And then new folder, sensors. New folder, drivers. New folder, knobs and inputs. Drivers, knobs, inputs and switches. So knobs, new folder, inputs, new folder, switches. Right, so that's my folder structure that I'm going to put the points in. Copy that, paste that into pool AHU because I've not done anything yet there, and main plant room, paste. So go into points, discover, and we can just take it from the BACnet on the first controller, which is the first floor plant room. Go OK. Take them sensors, drag and drop into there. Now what I'm going to do is take them sensors, I'm going to cut them, and I'm going to paste them up here on the left hand side into the sensors. Done. The drivers, quite a few drivers there. Drivers, drivers, drivers to there. Drag, drop, highlight, cut, right click, cut them, paste them into there. The knobs, drag, drop, take them, highlight them all, pressing the shift key and the bottom there, right clicking my mouse, cutting it, clicking there, right click my mouse, pasting it. Switches, only two, drag, drop, cut them, paste them in the switches folder. Inputs, drop, highlight them again, cut them, put them into the inputs folder. That's all the points come to the for that one now. All done. They're all there ready for the graphics. All the histories are in. The alarms are already done. That was all done on the station side. So discover again. Select the pool AHU this time. Take my sensors and I can take them and drop them into there. Cut them. Expand that. Paste it into sensors. Drivers. Drag and drop. Cut them. Put them into drivers. Knobs. Drag and drop. Cut them. Right click. Cut. Paste them into there. Switches. Not that many. Drag and drop. Highlight them. Right click. Cut. Right click. Paste. Inputs. Highlight them. Drag. Drop. Highlight them again. Cut. Where's my cut? Cut. Inputs. Paste. That's that one done. Main plant room. Discover. Just discover the main plant room. BACnet. Main plant room. OK. Click on the first one of the sensor. Scroll down to the end of the sensors. Press the shift key on your keyboard. Click on the bottom sensor. You've highlighted them all. click the left mouse button, drag, unclick the left mouse button, go OK. Click the left mouse button again and highlight the first one. Go down to the bottom, put your finger on the shift key, click the left mouse button, right click the mouse button, cut, expand that, paste. That is it. I seem to do it all fast, so I don't think about the keys that I am pressing, and hence that's why I just did that one, just to show you what the keys were. But I tend to just do it as a matter of course, and really that doesn't really help you much when you're thinking, what keys are you pressing here? So hopefully that helps a little bit. I'm going to just do this one and do the others, and then I'm going to finish this video for this time. What we're in, 55 minutes. Yeah, time goes so fast when you're enjoying yourself. Cut. What did I just cut there? The knobs. Paste. Switches. Switches, switches, switches. Drop. Take the switches from there. Cut. Paste switches into there. And finally my inputs. Take them. Drop them. Take them. And cut. And inputs. So that's it. That's everything ready for me to go with the graphics now. I've got all my points back to the cloud, and I can actually adjust any points, and they will adjust at the Tridium Niagara station, which of course via BACnet will adjust them in the IQ4s. So the only other thing I've got to do is I've got to do the schedulers to then bring the schedulers into the controller to then send to the IQ4s, but that's not a problem. Yeah, I'm going to call it a day on this one. So thank you for watching, and I'll probably do a video on when I'm doing the graphics for the other. Oh, I'll tell you what, the last video I was setting up, but you never saw the graphics. Let me just put you on pause a minute. So this is the final graphics of video 170, I think it was. So this was all completed, and this was the final graphics that I did. So but that video was talking about the stations here, these outstations, where I was putting all the histories and doing all the knobs and the switches. Outstation 11, outstation 12, I had to expand it a little bit because I didn't have enough space, and MCC2 pool, which just hardly had anything on it at all. So that was that, and then what I did is the graphics for all the plants. So that was my boiler plant graphics. 3 boilers and dual pump, pressurization unit, dual pump again, VT valve, dual pump, and I put all the information, as well as somewhere on the page I also left it here, and some of these can be deleted out because we've already got the speed there, not the speed, the 40% for one pump and 0 for the other, so we don't actually need this. So that's your trend, basically. Trend 40% for one pump and then 100% switches it across to the other. Biomass boiler, because I did this boiler plant first, when I went onto the biomass boiler, it was only this little bit here, around here. But I thought, you know something, I've got plenty of space there. I'll actually just copy and put that in there. So I utilised the old boiler graphic and I put the biomass in the centre there. So I didn't really have to do all these again. I just had to do the biomass bit there. Not much happening there, just a picture of an underflow manifold, and that's it basically. Cold water system, if it goes into high, that water will show high right at the top there. Goes to low, that will show no water in there. And healthy is when it's halfway. So that's that one. Hot water system. Standard plate heat exchanger. They're using their own internal controls. Mainly they do that now on a lot of sites that I come to. Pool heat exchangers. Again, just standard run of the mill. Two port valves there into the exchanger, and I just put a picture of a pool there just so they could see. And being on the same page, I thought I'd put the pool top up tank there. Again, it was just a copy and paste. AHU cafe reception and office. That's all done with the nice moving fans there. That's enabled at the moment. What temperature? It's 30.57 according to that outside. So why are you at 60% and why are you recuperating? There's no chilled on there, there's only hot water. That's the reason why. Because it's too hot outside. That's the reason why. We're bringing 28.34 and it's better to use a 28.34 to go around the system than actually bringing 30.37 from outside here. Okay, AHU2 change area. Again, we're recircing. That's quite high, isn't it? 30.37. What is it? Friday, the 15th of the 8th, 2025. But yeah, that's quite high there. Plant room temperature is 36.49. But anyway, that's that one there. Again, they've got no cooling. Fitness area. The thing is, this says it's all working, but I was told by the engineer that this is actually faulty and not working, the DX unit outside, and they need to be replaced. So they don't have any cooling at the moment. Hence why you got 3104 supply air into a fitness gym area. That's not quite good, is it really? We're coming back at 28.79. Pool A8 hall. Some dirty filters there. And we've got some issues here as well. So, ground floor plan. That was took from the 963 because I didn't have a ground floor plan and I just put my info on it. But changing village 29.57, plant room 36.49, which is the same as that up there, of course. Staff room 25.82, 27.22, 26.14. Very hot. First floor, fitness suite 29.28, dry change. Well, that's okay for dry change at the end of the day. Multi-dance. I've probably got some of these working here. I don't have the access. I have no connection to the AC, the splits, so I can't actually see what they are doing. Dance studio. Meters. Some of them are working, some of them aren't. Never seen the gas meters work at all. Mains water. I put this pulse checker in there just so I could see that nothing's on true all the time. And we're actually getting a pulse coming through. Sometimes you can see it, sometimes you can't. I made it that if it does give a pulse, it goes to true, of course, and it goes green. But anyway, that's that. And miscellaneous was the fitness suite. This one here, I didn't know where to put it, so I just put it in miscellaneous. And because I've got AHU3 fitness suite, I weren't going to put it on that page. Reception temperature quite high. Door heaters aren't working. Chemical store extract, server room extract. That temperature is quite high really, considering we want 21, but it is what it is. Schedulers there. Those are all the schedulers. That's the key that we look at to what the different colours mean. And log out, logs out, forward and back buttons, and home button again, back to home, which I put some points on there. Because they had him on the 963, I thought, well, okay, if they had them on the 963, I better put them on the 963, but they're duplicated elsewhere anyway. So, for example, this bar and this PSI here, if I go to my pool exchangers, I've got them here. Saying that I've put pH there and mg because that's what was on the 963. 275 pH and minus 1.25 mg. Oh, but not there. There's the different. Pool water, DP sensor 1, sensor 2. So it was, man, you're saying that it was only yesterday when I finished it, but I've been on site and done another job and forgot about it. That's actually not lined properly. There and there. What are we? I'm going to press Control key and right arrow once. That's better. Yeah, so that was it for the graphic. All these green boxes you can click on and get the history pop-ups. Pool space, temp there. Looks like I picked not a very good one. Oh, it's not changing a lot in temperature. Let's just do gas boiler flow temperature. There we go, up and down. That's a better one. Right, I'm going to put you on pause. Oh, 121 alarms, that's a lot of alarms. And it's because of this CT pump 2 failing and resetting itself. Again, got nothing to do with me. I didn't write the logic for it, but it looks like it's got an auto reset after a time limit. And that's the reason why we've got so many alarms. There we go. So, but that's going to creep up. I can't stop that. That's nothing to do with me, that one. Right, that is it. And thank you for watching. And if you could subscribe, I'd appreciate it. We're trying to get the subscriptions up. And click like, and by all means put some comments in there. I do read the comments. And if there's any issues that you're trying to sort out, put a comment in there and I will answer it eventually. Thank you for watching.